All right, we are recording.
Yeah.
So here I have Alejandro Ataucusi with me, an old-time friend and fellow musician. He is the band leader of an Afro-Peruvian band.
That's right.
And he's going to open us up with something special. Yes, that was freaking awesome, dude. So, was that something you wrote?
No.
No? So what was that? That was like a cover?
That was an arrangement, a solo arrangement of a song, A Felicidade. That was one of the songs I got to play with an artist from Brazil with the William Patterson Latin Jazz Ensemble.
Nice.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, what I read about you is that you actually have a background in psychology before music, and I found that fascinating because I went to school for music, and I'm like kind of, I don't want to say regret it, but I mean, based on your skills and the fact that you didn't go to school for music, how did you become so skilled at music? You just studied on your own, studied books, or what did you do to learn so many skills?
I mean, I've been playing music since I was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. But then when I moved to the U.S., I studied with some people. I think I got better when I went to William Patterson because I started playing with people that are way better than me. Mm-hmm. And then I also joined the Latin Jazz Ensemble, and I studied privately with the director of the Latin Jazz Ensemble, whose name is Chico Mendoza.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And so the name of your band is Forbidden Tropics. How long have you been in this band?
Well, that project started sometime in late 2018, mm-hmm. and we released an EP last mm-hmm. summer. We haven't got a chance to play so many gigs, but we were mainly focusing on trying to get a few gigs, but good gigs.
Yeah.
And it was strictly focusing on original music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so funny. When I was in the band East Coast Philosophy, I always found this struggle with like balancing out the live performance with writing your own music. Do you find this a struggle to like I don't know about you, but personally I would find that when I would try to do live gigs, it would take less time away from writing music, but when I would write music, it would take time away from live gigs. Like, how do you find that, like, you balance all this out?
Yeah, I've mainly been in cover bands or just playing somebody else's music.
Yeah.
And I wanted this project to be different to anything that I've ever done before. First off, even though I'm Peruvian, I've never played Afro-Peruvian music.
Yeah, oh.
So this is like, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it, because I've never done it. It's different, and I don't think that the American crowd is familiar with Afro-Peruvian rhythms. I mean, they know jazz, but if I say I play Afro-Peruvian jazz, I think that would make it more exotic for playing shows.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. There's some like timings and everything that I'm like, even in the song that we were rehearsing together, I'm like, damn, like it feels like 6, but it also feels not like 6. Like it feels like 4/2. I don't really. Is it in 6 or is it in 4/2? Like what's going on?
It's also in 12/8 because in Afro-Peruvian music we have different subgenres.
Yeah.
The fastest rhythm is in 12/8.
Yeah.
But I like feeling it in 4/4.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like it's written one way, but it feels a different way. I was always the closest I've come to fancy rhythms would be playing Chopin on piano because he writes, I guess, polyrhythms. I don't even know what they're called. That's how stupid I am. But when he writes, like for example, he'll have 9 or even 12, sometimes 13, an odd number 15 notes on top. But then on the bottom it'll be like 6/8. So that's what the closest thing I've come to fancy rhythms is that. But that's really awesome that there's so much of that backed into your culture,
Yes. Mainly what I get from the Afro-Peruvian music is the rhythm, and what makes it jazz is the harmony and the chords that I use on top of that.
Nice.
So I don't really have a preference to just play straight Afro-Peruvian music. I don't really prefer to play just jazz. I have more a preference to play both combined.
And so in the quarantine, how did this affect your musicianship? Did you feel like were you still able to get some live performances outside, or how did that go for you?
I think I only did like 1 or 2 live performances online. I've mainly been practicing and doing some online teaching. Since late July, I've started to gig again.
Yeah.
Although it's not the same. I'm just soloing as a solo musician, not with a full band.
Do you find a satisfaction in making online videos, or is it not the same as like a live performance for you?
Oh no, it's not the same.
Not the same?
Not only because of the audio quality, it's just that I think a musician has a tendency to perform better when he or she has a crowd in front of him.
Right. It's like it's 2 different things to me. It's almost like 2 different crafts. Like when you're live, anything can happen. You're feeding into the audience. You might make some mistakes, but it's all part of the excitement and part of the experience. But when I'm doing stuff recording, it's like I become a perfectionist because it's a recording. So it's almost like 2 different crafts. And I feel like the way things are moving, it's almost as if like the future is moving towards everything online. So it's scary for a lot of artists because, not entirely, because I do think there's still going to be some live performances even after things clear up and everything like that, but we can't deny the fact that a lot of this is moving online, and it could be a little scary for some artists who really enjoy the live experience.
Yeah, I don't think there is a way to replace it, even though some people might be able to make it work and make some money out of it. It's just not the same.
Yeah, I'm just cracking up right now because we're doing this podcast outside of my patio because of coronavirus. We want to keep things as safe as possible. And I'm pretty sure if you heard that loud bang, I'm pretty sure a truck just like drove by and knocked my recycling bins over. Oh. So that's one of the many experiences of doing this stuff outside. But I'm going to keep an eye on how things go in the next couple months, because I heard that like kids are going back to school and that restaurants are opening. Did you know that restaurants are opening at 25?
This Friday.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep an eye on that, and hopefully I can move indoors based on how everything's are going. But it's just hilarious. Like, you're playing this beautiful guitar, like, so soothing, and then, like, a truck comes by, like, honk. Like So you said that you've been playing music since you were a little kid. But you said you didn't start playing Afro-Peruvian. That is recently?
Yes. I got into Afro-Peruvian music when I attended William Patterson. They invited a band from Peru.
Yeah.
And even though I grew up in Peru, I really didn't have that much of attraction for that type of music until I moved here.
That's interesting.
And, I feel like nostalgic seeing band from my country playing. And after that, I studied learning more about it. I went to Peru and studied with somebody and showed me a little bit about Afro-Peruvian music.
Yeah.
And then most of it, I just try to put it together and
That's
make
amazing.
It work.
So it's almost like it found you, like your own roots somehow got back to you. That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
I wish that would happen to me. Like, I wish my Italian roots would find me somehow. I guess they do, because I like Italian food. So
yeah.
So we actually rehearsed another song that we are going to do a cover of right now. I have to admit, I'm really nervous to do this because it was kind of a last minute thing, but I'm going to do whatever I can.
Sure.
The day is left wasting, but you're still chasing me. It's so simple and so sweet. Time is always on the run. The train is in motion, but you're still holding me. You give yourself completely. You're all I need. The sun always has to set, but your mind never rests. The match will stop burning, but you're still searching for me, trying to set me free. Trees raise God and change, but your heart stays the same. The day is left wasting, but you're still chasing me. It's so simple and so sweet. That's what I'm talking about, guys, with that big truck that just drove by. Oh. Yes, I love that one. We just like kind of pulled this together this week, so we only rehearsed it together this morning, but I had a lot of fun learning that one. You can probably pull that closer to you too.
I think it came out great.
Thank you. But yeah, that one, like I'm not even just saying this to butter you up. That one really touched me. The melody is so soothing, and the chord progression and everything like that. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, so this song has a rhythm called Lando, which is in 6/8, and it's probably the slower tempo in Afro-Peruvian music.
Yeah.
I came up with a chord progression, and Julie, our first bass player, she came up with melody and the rhythm. I think it was great. It's a great song.
Yeah, it's a great combination. So you were saying a lot of your songs don't have lyrics. That's one of the unique ones that have a melody and lyrics to it.
Hopefully, we're planning on adding more songs with lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm just very grateful to have musicians that are willing to play this kind of music, because not every member in my band is Peruvian.
Are you the only Peruvian one in your band?
I think I'm the only one. Yeah, I think I'm the only one.
And how do us white folk carry it? Do we lack the grit or the
I think I'm just very happy to find very talented musicians, that are able to accommodate to those rhythms. Yeah.
So I mean to ask you this question, and if this is too embarrassing, we'll edit this out later. But every time I'm with, and I think you know what I'm going to ask, every time I'm with you or any of your friends, we always have this inside joke, and like I'll be like, oh, he might be like, oh, Andrea, I like your dress. It's so cultural. And I'm like, cultural? What the fuck are you talking about? And everybody starts laughing except for me, because it's some type of inside joke that I don't understand. So I've been waiting to ask you, and I'm going to ask you right now. And if it's embarrassing, we'll take it out later.
No, I think it's actually a good question.
It's been like years that you've been like, it's cultural. And I'm like, what do you mean? You say, I'll let you know later.
My friend, he's a singer-songwriter, Brian Hansen.
Yeah. Oh,
he came up with that. It's basically, he's referring to my way of playing, because it's like so I don't know, fancy, complex.
So cultural.
Yeah, that's why he said so cultural. And then I just took it from there, and I
You just took it from there.
even if it doesn't apply to whatever we're talking about, I just say it.
It's like the new "that's what she said" for him. He's basically just like he's basically like, that's so cultural. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's so cultural. But okay, now that I know it, I'm gonna use it on you and everybody else, and I'm gonna carry the legacy of just saying it and not really explaining to people what the hell it means. But
thank you. I appreciate it.
So you said, I want this podcast is mainly about art and music and everything, but it's also about what's going on, because we can't deny life and current events like that and everything. So how have you been getting through like the quarantine and everything? Have you been, you said you've been on a lot of hikes and soccer and everything like that. Has that been helping?
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much I can do musically right now. I wish I could play more shows with my band, but all the venues are closed. So the only shows that I'm getting are solo shows. And aside from music, I've just been trying to keep active by playing soccer and being outdoors.
Yeah. One time they were driving by, some like hot Latina lady. She was bouncing like Baby Shark with the bee. And I'm like, I thought this was just for kids, but apparently this is like the hot thing right now, Baby Shark. But anyways, sidetrack.
No, it's okay. So I was doing that. What else? I also submitted a paper for a scientific journal in Germany. I did a study last year using one of the songs that I composed for my Afro-Peruvian jazz band and used that as a stimuli for a study. So we got the results that we wanted, and I'm hoping it will be published sometime this year.
Wait, so can you explain again what this is? This is fascinating. This paper, explain it again.
Yeah, so I chose one of the songs that I composed with my Afro-Peruvian jazz band. I used a 10-second sample of that and used it as a stimuli for a study that we conducted at William Patterson University.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, and like I said, we got the results that we wanted, and I'm hoping to get it published. It's already submitted. I'm just waiting to hear back.
That is really cool. So that's cool that you found like another way to stay active and stay busy with using your skills. So rather than focusing on live performances, you were able to conduct a study. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Do you still utilize your psychology backgrounds in any way, or is that whatever happens?
I use it every day when I teach. Not because I'm trying to, persuade anybody, but everybody's different, and I think everybody has a different way of learning. And more than the student trying to adjust to the teacher, I'm trying to adjust to the student. I think that makes things a lot easier for everybody.
That's a sign that you're a really good teacher, because I know I can be a very impatient, like I could be a mean teacher sometimes, and I know that's not a good thing. So that's a sign that you're really good and patient.
I mean, I haven't gotten to that point yet. Maybe one day.
How long have you been teaching for?
Officially since 2011.
11. Oh, okay, so it's been a while. I think I've been teaching a little bit less than you, like maybe since 2013 or something. But I've been teaching for a while, like at least 8 years for sure. I shouldn't say I'm a mean teacher. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But I do get frustrated when I'm in a situation with a student that maybe their parents want to keep them busy, but the student's not really interested in music. But you're saying you have an approach to kind of adjust to that type of student, and you're able to get something out of them.
Right, but you're bringing something that's very important too, in a sense that sometimes the parent wants a student to learn an instrument, but he or she may not have any interest. And it gets to the point that it doesn't matter if you're a really good teacher, if he or she doesn't want to learn, there's really not much you can do about it.
Yeah, I find that like a common thing these days. I don't know if you have this experience with your students, is that like, I mean, not now, because I feel like everyone's taking a break now, but before coronavirus, I felt like there was a lot of students that I had that was in multiple different activities. Like they're doing karate, they're doing jiu-jitsu, they're doing dance, they're doing swimming, they're doing piano. And I'm like, geez, like I'm wondering if it's because they're trying to find their niche, like they're trying to find what they love, or it's just like a really competitive thing. They're trying to compete with everybody. But I always found that to be like a difficult type of student that may not be their fault if they don't have time to practice, because they're in so many different things. Like I'm not even in that many things, and I'm a grown up. Like, you know what I mean? I can only handle like 3 things. So
yeah, it's tough. you would think that now that, not now because the kids just went back to school, but during the pandemic, you would think they would have more time. But a lot of the kids are probably not willing to try anything because of the current situation we're all living in right now.
Yeah.
So
I kind of don't blame them. Like, I mean, I can't, I had a difficult childhood. I did, but I feel like there is probably nothing that, in my lifetime at least, that I've seen that could compare to the difficulties that kids must be going through right now. Like, it must be horrifying. Like, even if you have like good parents and a happy family at home, it must be, you're a kid, you can't meet people, you can't touch people, like you can't hug people, you can't hug your grandma. Like, it must be really scary,
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's for everybody.